Oh, hello there, and welcome back to Filthy Talk. Filthy Lots. I just bubbled, just a bubble went in my brain. A Filthy Lots live weekly panel discussion show coming at you live from North Vancouver on the traditional lands of the Squamish Nation. We'd like to recognize the privilege to work, play, and create on these beautiful lands, and we encourage you at home to comment in the chat. I'm actually in the chat right now for the first time. I've got my laptop on stage. I'm slacking, kind of, with what traditional lands you are watching from. If you don't know, look it up, and then let us know. I saw a comment, actually, on one of our, I think it was on one of our one-shots, and a guy had to look it up, and he found out, I can't remember the name, but he found out what land he was on, and then he's like, and it makes sense what our zoo is named after now. So, yeah, it's kind of cool. I was
the more you know.
We're making a difference. Spreading knowledge. I'm Trevor Gemma. This is Roz Young. Returning as the captain of the Starship Chatroom, Ash Turner, with her new fancy glasses.
Yeah,
I really like them. They're really good.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, they're nice.
Ooh.
Although I feel like, has there ever been a character on Star Trek with glasses? Only Geordi has the visor, right?
Well, I mean, in the future, you could just magically fix your eye.
Yeah.
That meant science.
Magic. Science is just magic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What is the shirt that Matt has? Science is magic, but...
It's real.
It's real? That's it? Oh, never mind. I thought it was something a little further than that. Anyway, okay. Nerd news. Anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, a couple things I want to talk about. First, I want to talk about Biomutant came out, and
right.
It is reviews are mixed. I have not played it yet. Matt has purchased it and will probably play this weekend. And then, maybe based on how he's feeling, I'll decide if I want to shell out the shells for it. And we'll see. You've already bought it.
I bought it last night because I forgot. I heard about that game months ago, sometime last year, and I was like, that looks super fun and cute and original. And I bought it. I haven't downloaded it yet. So
to decide whether or not you're going to play it before everything else, we watched one of the Before You Buys with Biomutant. And Jake from GamerAnx. I want to say literally how he described the game, because I think we don't need to say anything else. He says, it is an open world, kung fu, sci-fi, post-apocalyptic RPG adventure where you make your own little Rocket Raccoon type character and you tear it up and customize stuff and ride vehicles and basically do anything and kill stuff.
That sounds amazing.
Sold. So I don't care what other people are not loving the game. I think that just tells me it's a good game.
Yeah, I don't know. Reviews, I don't trust, because Anthem got totally panned and screwed over by all the fans that were like, their expectations were so high. I played the crap out of that game, and it was super fun.
So, if you had a good time, you had a good time.
Yeah. Have you heard about, so there was an announcement that because Xbox has now, or Microsoft, but it's being worded as Xbox, has bought Bethesda, that normally where they would participate in E3 separately and make a bunch of announcements, they've made some sort of strange announcement that they're going to be having a combined press conference on June 13th, which overlaps with E3, and it's on one of the days that E3 takes place, I think it's the 12th or the 15th. And I'm confused because Xbox is listed as one of the pinnacle guests of E3, but this makes it sound like they're doing their own thing, so I'm not sure if it's like a co-stream.
Sounds like it's E3 with just more steps.
But apparently there's going to be just a ton of announcements. I'm really looking forward to next month for gaming because it's going to get crazy.
Yeah, I mean, every month for the rest of 2021 is like, what?
Oh, really? I'm just stoked for next month. There's 3 things, although now one of them got pushed by a couple weeks.
I mean, I haven't played the new Resident Evil that came out earlier in May, but I'm living for the memes.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Meme queen, Lady Demistress Kablefker. I don't know how to say her name.
Mama.
Yep, but I love it.
Okay.
Oh, wait, speaking of things buying things, Amazon bought MGM, which is crazy.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Amazon bought MGM.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know what that means yet.
I mean,
but I also wanted to say quickly, before we get away from nerd news, Ash, can you share that picture link in the chat?
Oh, right.
Heck yes, I can.
Oh, man. Speaking of gaming, they're making an Uncharted movie, and they've cast Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. Mm-hmm. And then my beloved Sully has been cast But Mark Wahlberg? What? And the pictures, it looks like they're both trying to be Nathan Drake. I don't understand. Where is his mustache?
So I haven't played any of the Uncharteds. I own them all. I just haven't played them. But I know that Nathan Drake's brother is a character, and Mark Wahlberg would have been better for that, right?
That's what it looks like, certainly.
Who would you have cast as Sully? Oh, you didn't have something ready for this?
Well, I feel like a long time ago, I mean, maybe not anymore, but I don't know. People in the chat should say who they would have cast, because I feel like...
Who's the long time ago?
I'm blanking on his name. That's what's happening.
What's he in?
Quick, is Matt in the chat? He'll read my brain.
Okay.
He is in the chat, yes.
Tell him to read my brain and post the name of the guy I'm thinking of.
Wow, that's crazy. That's science. That's magic. Reading your brain from through the internet. Okay.
Matt says you mean Bruce Campbell.
Yes, I do.
Oh.
Thanks, Matt.
That'd be fun. Okay, so there was something I was going to talk about as nerd news, but I got to bring out one of our guests to talk about it because it's something that we've all been accumulatively doing. Anyway, welcoming to the stage, to the show for the first time, our gaming friend and our IT support man, Randy Dao. Come on out, Randy. Woo! Yeah, buddy. I can't believe you didn't wear your jersey.
Yeah, I know. I feel so bad.
Where did you get that jersey?
My brother got it for my birthday.
Oh.
So it's like a European team called Fnatic, and it's been around for a while, and they're sponsored by BMW and AMD and whatnot. And yeah, I got it yesterday, and I just totally forgot.
It would have been perfect.
I know. I totally forgot.
I even commented in the Slack. Anyway.
I know. I forgot. I totally forgot. I just spaced out. Next time.
And also joining us to talk about all things gaming, well, particularly very heavily, we're going to talk about one thing. You've seen her before. Here she is again, Bev Rapley.
I thought y'all were sick of me by now. Jeez.
Welcome back, Bev.
Thank you.
I'm really digging that jacket.
Thank you. This was a commercial find antique store.
Ooh.
Gem. Last
Sorry,
year during the
antique
pandemic.
store? Mm-hmm. Antique store with clothes?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's like vintage, but then they're also this super cool art gallery. It's right across from. It's all just a map of breweries in here, but it's really close to East Van Brewer.
It's just a map of breweries.
Yeah.
Ask Matt to read your mind.
Speaking of which, my beer is purple, and it's from Settlement Brewing on Dunlevy Street. Brand new, just opened up.
Oh, purple
it's purple
beer.
because of pea flower.
Yay!
Interesting.
Talk about
Is
drinks.
it good or is it purple?
It is. It's
That means
beer.
if we put lemon in it, it might change color.
Oh.
Really?
It's probably already changed color because it's the purple instead of the blue. But remember, I did a TED Talk about blue gin.
Yeah,
You
you
did.
did.
Right.
And
Okay,
everyone clearly
What's the
learned
compound?
everything.
So something I
Different
was
kind of nerd news.
something I was going to bring up in nerd news is of the games that I'm excited for next month. One of them got pushed, and it's Back for Blood.
Yeah.
And that
October,
sucks.
Right?
It only
Yeah.
got pushed to I think it's July 10th.
Oh, really? I thought it was October.
Did it get pushed to October?
I thought
That makes sense.
that would
October
make
7th.
sense, yeah.
Son of a.
Something.
Oh, that's worse.
Yeah.
So much worse.
It's so sad because Minecraft was going to come out with the big update over the summer, and that got pushed.
Yeah.
and
That got pushed.
We started playing Left 4 Dead 2 again,
Yeah, we
all
did.
of us.
Yeah,
so that we could be ready
and
for
that's
Back for
why.
Blood.
I mean, that's actually why this episode of Filthy Talk is named Friendly Fire, and Randy's here.
Yeah.
It's because we were all anticipating Back for Blood quite a bit, and we were playing a lot of Left 4 Dead 2. And Randy, I don't think you started this way, but did you actually make it a goal to get the highest Friendly Fire
Yeah, I
percentage?
did. Of course. I mean, I always get to 30%, and I always I gotta get to 40. I gotta get to 50.
You bastard.
You know what? That's the fun thing about when we play Left 4 Dead is that we all have secret missions.
Yeah, of course. You gotta have
I don't.
You gotta have internal achievements, you know.
Yeah, you should make one up for yourself.
You should see his spreadsheet.
Yeah. I also made an internal one of activating car alarms.
What? Oh.
It's you.
Well, I know
On the lot
that
or in the game?
you try not to do any damage to witches.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, thanks.
They're
That's
just ladies having a bad day.
super helpful.
It's always zero. It's always zero for Roz.
Unless somebody
Okay,
has to have it.
so
Okay.
I know that both of you guys have been playing a lot of Mass Effect.
Yeah.
What is it? Legendary Edition? Is that what
Yep.
you call it?
Legendary Edition.
Ah.
It's massively awesome.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah, we should get both of your input. Wait, are you starting at Mass Effect 1 and working all the way to 3, or did you
Yeah.
jump right into 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting at Mass Effect 1.
Same.
Yeah. I'm hoping I'm like halfway through. Was like the nostalgia for that game wore off very, very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely improved it. The first game definitely plays a lot better than before. But
Okay.
And it's beautiful.
yeah, it looks really nice, but there are still some problems, like the AI is still kind of sketchy sometimes. And, like,
well, you said the nostalgia wore off. So, like, you were super excited at first, but then you were like, I hate this first game, or what's that?
Well, it's like I'm so happy to be back in the world, but I haven't been to that world in Mass Effect 1. It's the one I haven't played repetitive times.
Oh.
Like, I tried like once, and then Novaria just left such a bad taste in my mouth that I just was like, whatever, I'm just gonna go play Mass Effect 2 for a good time.
yeah.
But yeah, I think I got stuck on the Citadel for about 45 minutes because I couldn't figure out how to get back to the Normandy, and that was the point where I looked inside and just said, you know what, I'm really excited for Mass Effect 2, you guys, but I'm Scottish stubborn, so we'll get through it. I'm on Pharos right now, so.
So, I've only ever played some of the first Mass Effect, and when I play RPGs, I check every corner, I talk to every person, and when I got to, maybe it was the Citadel, I don't know, it felt like an indoor cityscape kind of thing,
Citadel,
and I ran around talking to everyone, getting nothing out of it, and I stopped playing the game. So is that was the Citadel?
Yeah, that sounds pretty par for the course.
Yeah, that
okay.
sounds about right.
But it gets better than that? Because, like, should I go back? Should I play Legendary Edition? Is it worth it?
Well, I think if you're playing through for the first time, then you're doing that initial world building, and you don't know what the dialogue option is going to be. Where, like, for example, like I'm romancing Caden again, that guy, but like going and then he's like talking about his backstory and how he grew up here in Vancouver and like.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Caden Alenko grew up in Vancouver.
Yeah.
There's a character in Mass Effect that's from Vancouver?
Oh my God, Trevor. So
Yeah.
in Mass Effect 3, the opening scene, I won't go too much into detail, and it's so funny because I was living with my boyfriend Jeremy at the time, and like we waited in line to get our copy of Mass Effect 3, and of course I like shoved him aside and was like playing through. And I said, Jeremy, that looks so. I know those mountains anywhere. Those are the North Shore. Those are the Lions. And he's like, oh, like you're no way, like no how, blah 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 blah. And then all these explosions happen. You're running for your life, and the buildings are collapsing. And I'm like, that is Vancouver without a doubt. And then I look down, and there's the sails of Canada Place.
What?
Underneath where I'm falling, and I was like, look at it. But apparently they did like depending on where you bought the game. There's like I think another one's in Hong Kong, and I think another one is
What?
I think London is another one. They just picked like major continental cities, and then yeah.
Oh, really?
How have I never heard of this?
Yeah,
Dude, I
yeah.
think it's the most probably like most high-pitched scream I've done since I was like 8 years old. I don't like squeeing fangirls, but I squeed and I fangirled.
God.
Yeah.
The only game I've ever that I can remember has had Vancouver included in it was, I think it was Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, maybe? And there was like, Casey, what?
look
I'm
how it's
getting nods. I'm getting
nodding,
nods from, okay, yeah. So you got to go through Stanley Park, and there was a shortcut that is an actual real life shortcut, but isn't a legal shortcut.
It's only illegal if you get caught.
You
Hear
can,
that?
yeah, it's a very dangerous shortcut, but you can cut
Did not
through
hear that here.
and cut, like where you go around a bunch of stuff, you can actually cut through and across.
Like the beaver
And
pond?
it used to get me so excited, but knowing that Vancouver is that heavily featured, and the mechanic of it being, okay, well now I really want to play it.
Yeah, but start at Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
Start it too?
I mean, I
If you've
started
already
at
played
2.
through one.
But here's the thing, like if you start at 2, there's a lot of decisions in the first game that it's just like it kind of picks the worst mid decision for you.
You can toggle
Okay.
them. You can toggle the major decisions.
Yeah, in Legendary, but like before back, but like you couldn't. It
Oh,
was
you could some.
some, but
Some.
like, cause like that's what happened to me, cause I didn't play 1, cause a lot of people were like kind of mixed about it, like back in the day, and then like I just started on 2, but then when I started playing 2, I was like, oh, I didn't save that guy. Oh, that I blew up that colony. You know,
Oh.
it was like stuff like that because like that
Okay.
tends to happen.
So
same time-
is the first game changed enough or improved enough that the re-release is like it feels like a different game, or does it just feel like the exact same game?
Here's the thing. If you know where to go and what to do and what you want to do, you're probably going to have a way easier time than I did.
Oh.
Matt's already done Mass Effect 1. He started just after you guys and powered through and didn't do any side quest
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm on the
But I
second
think he
game now.
played. I don't know the dates everybody's been in things, but he probably played Mass Effect 1 more recently, so that he was able to be like, yep, I want to do this, I'm going to go here and romance this person, and I'm done.
Yeah.
I was
Just power through, because everybody kind of agreed just want to get through Mass Effect 1, but keep the decisions that are
Yeah.
major story decisions that you want to make, and then in Mass
Oh.
Effect 2, yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like even the fan base is very against Mass Effect 1, and I'm surprised they wouldn't have given it more of an overhaul than just upgrading graphics.
They did more. Like they made like the vehicle like drive better. The AI's a little bit better. The shooting's a little bit better.
Oh,
They
okay.
made it.
Definitely
They made it
better.
a little bit easier because before like your classes were locked to specific weapons in a way. Like for example, like the sniper rifle. If you were playing a different class besides the infiltrator, you couldn't zoom in with the sniper rifle, so it was basically useless.
Oh.
But now like all the classes can use the weapons.
Kind
It's
of a
just-
sniper rifle doesn't have a scope that zooms.
well, like it has a scope, but you just can't zoom in
What?
because I don't know why. It was silly. Yeah.
That-
So now like
a lot of the like cover tactics as well they fixed because
Yeah.
they were super buggy in the first one.
yeah.
Oh.
I think some powers got adjusted. Like there were some overpowered powers that were like kind of broken. Like I think like I can't remember like the bullet time one was like it basically if you headshot it, it was instant death. But now it's like you can't instant death kill with the bullet time. So yeah,
Are you still on the first one?
I'm on the second one now.
You're on the second one?
Yeah.
You're still on the first one.
Yep.
And but you said
I was planning on powering through, and then I got distracted.
But you said you think you're halfway, but is that because the game is slightly different in story, or because you don't remember?
Well,
Well,
I'm-
where are you exactly now?
I don't want to give too much away. I'm on Pharos.
Okay.
Yeah, I just beat the living heck out of some colonists because they were infected with a nerve agent, and I couldn't kill them, so I had to disable them somehow.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking
That
about.
was really funny.
Yeah.
I
I would say
enjoyed
you're
that.
like 40% in. I would say.
But I keep like, it's really hard because I always play as a Paragon, and which has been really interesting because coming back to it, I'm older, I'm like significantly more bitter and impatient, so I'm definitely way more renegade now.
Really?
Oh.
But still, whenever I get this like, oh, message coming for you, Commander, and it's like, this settlement needs your help, I'm like, okay. So then I go and F around on an asteroid and like turn off a bunch of jets, and 2 hours have gone by, and I'm like, well. But no,
You saved
no
them.
more, no more. We're sticking to the main quests, and then I'm really paranoid about having to make decisions, so I gotta like grind my Paragon points and like really up my charisma or in my intimidation so that I can,
Intimidation,
so that I can, because the worst is when you're in the middle of the dialogue option and it's like, I really don't want this person to die, or like, I really don't want the blood of millions on my hands, or like, there's an easy out if you have enough intimidation or charm or Paragon points.
Oh.
And your alignment significantly influences that. So you can have your way, but you have to put in the groundwork.
Yeah, you have to grind for the levels.
It's a little bit like life like that, and I hate it. I mean, I love it, but I hate it.
Yeah, it is
So-
easier though, because like legendary is like they change it so that the leveling's better. So you can play because you're looking you level up to level 60, but in the legendary it's technically 30 and you level up faster. So so if you're just playing it straight through like Bev, I'm pretty sure legendary is fine. Or if you want to play it again, like legendary edition would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Is Mass Effect your favorite game series?
It's certainly up there.
Good question.
Yeah, it's like for me, one of my first gaming experiences, and definitely my first console games, were so influential. And like, I moved in with my new stepdad, and he had an Xbox, and the two games that he had for the Xbox was Fable 1 and
Oh, sweet.
Halo 1. So I played so much Halo to the point where my mom was driving me home from the ferry, and I literally was like, and she was like, uh-oh, did you forget something? And I was like, no, I just couldn't see my crosshairs.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. That's a dangerous amount of gaming.
So the Halo franchise means a lot to me. The Fable series, of course, I've probably spent most of my life, like easily several months worth, if you calculate total game hours, is World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Which I recently canceled my subscription and wrote my reason why, which is, of course, all the
Wait.
significant social.
When you cancel your subscription, you have to write a reason?
You don't have
You don't
to.
have to.
Oh.
But I just
They-
like
they- when you cancel,
I
they
actually
ask, and they
screenshotted
have
my
like a-
reason. I won't
Yeah.
read it here because you
Oh.
know politics are boring, but
Oh.
they're not boring. Get involved. But yeah, WoW, and I loved Oblivion and Skyrim. Like Skyrim has also occupied a significant. Like my life was like pie, which I definitely need more of pie in my life. But yeah, so probably like 2/3 of that is WoW. Big thing of that is Oblivion, Skyrim, like Fallout.
A lot of role-playing games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely like an RPG, sci-fi, fantasy. But then I was gonna wear my Dragon Age shirt.
I was going to ask you about that, about other BioWare games in particular, because I know your Dragon Age love, and how that you recognize those characters in memes and social media stuff all the time really fast. So you're kind of our go-to Dragon Age person. I find those games to be a little bit like, it's fun, but I definitely get lost in all the story stuff. So I like the MMO versions,
Yeah.
you know, of like the Skyrim version, and then I like World of Warcraft.
Yeah, a bit more open world. Yeah.
I'm a social gamer, so I feel
Yeah.
like I want to interact with my friends in a way that the solo RPG games don't give me. But do you guys, was Mass Effect your first BioWare game?
No, Dragon Age Origins for me. I played Dragon Age Origins, and there was like 4 weeks where I did nothing else, and then I like significantly like happy cried at the end because everything was so perfect, and then I went back and I played through it again, just as a different class. So yeah, and then Dragon Age 2 was great, but you got to treat it as like a standalone game. And then I didn't actually finish Dragon Age 3. And then now there's talk of a 4th one, which I'm like, oh shoot, I guess I better finish Dragon Age 3 now so that I'm prepared. But yeah, it's weird because the social element of that for me is I become so attached to the characters. Like I can't believe I'm admitting this. I was so in love with Alistair in those games.
You're in love
And
with
then
the
like
characters?
Dragon Age 2, when Anders did the thing and like things blew up and he totally double-crossed me, I was in like a week-long I ate my feelings that week.
Randy, your first BioWare game. Did anybody play?
Knights of the Old
I was just gonna say yes.
Ah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
Knights of the Old Republic for me was probably the first BioWare game. And that one I would just dark side and light. That one I played dark side because it was easier to play. Because I think what was it?
Because you're full of rage.
Force Light? No, none of that. But like I think Force Lightning was really broken in that game.
I just think in
So you can just
general,
nuke them.
the idea of the dark side stuff is great. That it is the easy route to take.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
I think
meta.
that says a lot about life.
Yeah.
Did you play the Old Republic?
Yeah, Knights of the Old
Because
Republic.
that is their MMO.
Yeah, I tried it. I tried it. This was before when it first came out, and it was good, but like it had some problems I didn't like too much. It definitely got better from what I could see, but I didn't like totally get into it. Yeah.
Matt and I have played a ton of Tor.
I had the exact same experience.
Where would you rank Mass Effect in your like all-time games? I'm asking this because what about the Legendary Edition got you guys to want to play it again? Like to pay to play the same games you've played again?
I mean, for me,
I'm a sucker?
for me, it was like kind of like being, like rejoining that world. Because Andromeda was such a trash game that I didn't want to go back into that world, right? But the Legendary Edition, like you go back to the games that like were great. It was like good to like experience it again. Because I do like, for me anyways, I do like going back to older games to replay them again. Like I replayed a bunch of, older games like Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, so like SNES games or whatever.
Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy, yeah, exactly.
Final Fantasy VII Remake shirt.
Oh, legit?
And you,
Yeah,
you-
it's-
I mean,
it's
you're
Starry
the
Night,
sucker
but
for
it's
Final Fantasy stuff.
Midgar.
If they re-release Final Fantasy stuff, you're like, here's my money.
Yeah, I mean, if
basically,
the
yeah,
but the biggest difference there is like Final Fantasy VII Remake. That is not the same game.
No,
at
it's totally
all.
different. Yeah,
like
it's
that's
totally
a different
different.
game. It's the same story with a whole bunch more story and a
Yeah.
completely different play mechanic than
Exactly.
the game was originally.
Yeah.
I want them to remake Final Fantasy VI, and yeah, I'll pay $150 for like an Ultimate Edition with fucking give me a statue. I'll pay $300. I don't give a fuck.
Ash,
I
are you
will
okay with Trevor
buy
paying
that.
$150 for one game?
She doesn't
Oh,
tell me
dude,
what to spend my money on.
you should have seen what he showed me that he was purchasing today for $739.98.
What was it?
What was it?
It was a Joker statue.
Oh.
And I'm on the wait list because I guess it came out yesterday and I missed it by a day.
Trevor, we have Joker statue at home.
At least a game,
It's right here.
at least a game is playable and you can enjoy it. And but it's just a statue. It just sits there and you look at it.
Hey,
and
he's
it's
got a
almost
changeable head
$1,000.
and hand.
That I don't understand.
It's really cool. It's also art. That's the thing. No, it's art. There's only 600 of them made, so it's a collector's item, and it's the level of detail in the sculpture is amazing. And I believe that if you appreciate art, you should be willing to pay to support the artist.
So you have a spot
Here,
already
here.
for it.
That's a
like,
fair argument.
You have a
Local
spot for
artist.
it already?
I'll concede.
Do I have a spot for it? I have spots in my head for it.
Oh, yeah.
It could very easily go right here. It could also
There's
go.
already a Joker statue
Wait,
there.
if you're keeping it at work,
can
can't you
move.
put it on your work card?
No, I want to own it. You see, I want it to be mine.
Is that how that works?
I mean, I just want to ask Bev a bit about, and I think not just Bev actually, Randy and audience about FemShep, because that has been a huge part of
About what?
FemShep. So
female
there's
Shepard.
Commander Shepard is the character of Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Protagonist.
And
I will play the layman today.
there is, you can choose to be male or female.
Okay.
And there's a lot of talk about how Jennifer Hill is an amazing voice actress, and she's the voice actress for the female version of Commander Shepard. But that is a huge. I think it was. I don't know. I want you to just talk a bit about what it meant to you, that character, because it was a part of the world of gaming in a big way for a lot of people. I'm just guessing.
So she's not just an amazing voice actor. Like, if you look at her IMDb, I want to put it on a scroll so that in this exact situation, I could hear you, and just it would reach the other side. She's been in everything. She's phenomenally talented. Not only is she a phenomenally talented voice actor and actor, which she's been a huge role model to me for being strong female woohoo and totally badass. But she also Ron Paulson from the Animaniacs did a podcast and she came on as a guest. This woman goes around in helicopters in wildfires and herds the wild horses to safety.
Oh.
You can't make this shit up. And then
She's hailing them?
get out. Get under the table. Randy's our local pun master, and I secretly resent it because my puns will just never be as good.
I always like to hit your punny bone.
I'm gonna counter that and say that Marshals are of a slightly higher caliber, and that Randy needs to step his goddamn game up.
I think the difference is Marshall
I do
is the pun wizard, and Randy is the pun sorcerer.
I have
That I'm
two
okay with.
pun
It's in his
dads.
blood. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, my puns go up and down.
And then when I did my first ever cosplay at the initial fan expo here in Vancouver, I was a starving student. I stayed up all night and I made N7 armor out of duct tape and electrical tape, staples, and a yoga mat that I bought for $10 at Winners.
Nice.
And
Sweet.
I went to Fan Expo in my armor, and she was there.
Well, that's why you pulled your phone out. I'm like, did you just pull your phone out?
And she's holding my gun, and I don't know if you can see it, but we'll post it sometime
you
somewhere.
should send that to Alex.
I should send that to
wow.
Alex. Alex,
That's
I
pretty
think I
good,
have your
though.
number.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You can see it.
I feel like I did a pretty okay job of acting like I wasn't absolutely freaking losing it, but I'm really losing, especially when she's like, do you want me to hold your gun? And I was like, I don't know how to respond to that. And then that was an awful thing to
I have
say.
to show you a picture from Calgary Fan Expo or Calgary Convention. It's not actually a fan expo. It doesn't matter. There was a cosplay there. I took a picture with it. It's one of the, what are they called? It's from Mass Effect. the like aliens with their huge, and they've got like a low.
Krogan.
Krogan. I was gonna say Korgon, but I was close. Yeah, someone was cosplaying one of those, and holy crap, it's amazing. I'll find the picture. I'll show it to you. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
Because I think I was at that
Sorry
same
to chat.
fan expo, and it's like this weird thing where we may have passed by each other at some point. I went as Lara Croft the first day, and Indiana Jones the second day.
Oh, wild.
But it's like, yeah, I remember looking through those photos, and I was like looking for you in the background. So many a year ago.
Many a year ago.
Yeah.
So Mass Effect. Speaking of, you've been streaming Mass Effect, right?
I have been. That actually reminds me, I got to go. I've got a certain situation with a Thorian that I have to go deal with.
Oh.
It's filthy talk, Bev. There's an hour of this show.
Yeah, we're only half an hour in.
Have fun, guys.
Oh.
Good luck. I'm just low-key really embarrassed that I showed you my nerddom, so I'm realizing. No, it's fine. Go on without me. You're great. You're all wonderful people. I prepared a line for a smooth exit, but then I remembered who I am truly and had to make this as awkward and cringy as possible. Bye.
Okay.
All right. Well, this show is meant for 4 people. Jason, come have a seat, man. I know you're a gamer.
Jason Derulo.
Oh, here we go.
Jason Derulo.
Jason, welcome.
This is Jason
Hi,
Derulo,
welcome to
everyone,
Filthy Talk.
who has also never been on the show, but first time here, but no stranger to talking on the internet.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Esports shoutcaster for college, right?
Yeah. I do shoutcasting for a variety of tournaments, mostly Overwatch, but for like collegiate university games and just random one-off tournaments.
So,
That's amazing.
did you say shoutcasting?
I said shoutcasting. They call it shoutcaster.
Shoutcasting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's the first time I've heard that term.
Yeah.
So if you're like me and it sounds like a strange thing to you and you're like, what is this? We have an example so that you, the viewer, can know what we're talking about, because I previously didn't. I do now. But we have a clip. So please, Alex, play the clip.
So this will be a flip, as they got it to 99, did Buckshot, and this will be the last fight. I can almost guarantee you, but I don't want to rule anything out at this point.
This is it. Molten with the Blizzard and Sigmar with the Death Blossom. This is going to be pretty rough for them. Juche and Culture Trap do have the tools to turn this around, especially Culture Trap. If this is a big transcendence, looks like it is.
Nefari used that application early to delay their progress to the point, but now the data comes out from Juche. Juche is able to get a charge kill on the exceptional, and
This is
the
it!
other way of Slaw Buddies. The Exploders on the point. AQO has picked 2 more with the final blow, and just for fun, Melee throws down the sound barrier, but I don't think they're going to need it. That's an absolutely massive fight.
That's
and
it.
Slaw Buddy's going to take it.
That is no bunny. That is the killer rabbit of Karabanog. There are no knights remaining. Slaw Bunnies takes it all the way map 5. What a match.
That was amazing.
That was you?
That was so good.
I have to say, when you first brought the idea up, I was like, you do what? Like, what? I'm sorry, it's casting, like sports casting, like commentators over sports, but over video games. And when I watched it, because I've watched you a few times now,
Thank you.
it feels natural for this kind of game, for like the whole team deathmatch thing. It takes a crazy amount of knowledge of the game itself, much like sportscasters need to know whatever game they're commenting on. But it feels like it's meant to be there. It makes it feel like an event, and it's really cool.
It definitely, I feel like, makes it a little bit easier to follow.
Yeah.
Especially like Overwatch is probably one of the fastest games, like competitive games, like period, to watch. Having the different casters, I think makes a huge difference. And there's a few different like ways that you do cast. You're usually casters usually cast for 3 people. They can usually do 1 or 2 of them. They are casting for a new viewer who's never seen the game before, and they're kind of introducing them to the game. They're casting for a veteran viewer who knows everything about the game, so they're providing some additional context that maybe the viewer didn't notice, and then they're also casting for advertisers, sponsors, and things like that.
Oh.
So the very best casters can do all three of those. Most hit one or two.
So because you watch a lot of esports too, Randy.
Yeah, I watch a lot of like League, Dota, a little bit of Valorant, and CS:GO back in the day. But right now it's mostly League of Legends right now. Yeah. And
Have you ever been to a live event?
Yes, I have. Yeah, there was for Dota 2, which was the prize money in 2018 for I think it was 25 million.
Yeah.
I was there for
Holy
the finals. Yeah.
25 million?
Yeah, not for first place, but it was split between all 18. But I think first place got 12, 13 million. Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
To play video games.
I know, right?
I mean,
insane.
it is the new, high level professional sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many people who want to watch professional
Yeah.
play. I mean, and there's people who want to watch amateurs. We talked about Twitch last week. People watching just whatever on Twitch, but mostly gaming and watching just
Yeah.
being a part of someone's life
Well,
and the stories.
and there's
but professionals playing games.
Yeah.
But the really interesting difference is because you're saying sports, whereas I don't know. I think esports might be the wrong term for it because it makes people go, that's not sports, like that kind of thing. But it is competition.
It is.
And
Yeah, for sure.
competition is the heart of it.
And what's cool, I think, about esports is when you, if you're playing hockey or basketball or whatever, and you're playing it at a super amateur level, and you go to your local rink or whatever, esports would be like showing up to your local rink, and there's 3 refs, and everyone has top of the line gear. Like you're playing exactly the same game. There's no difference in the game you're playing and the game that they're playing, which I think is really cool.
Other than skill level.
You can run into professionals in game. Like if you're obviously very
High
good,
level, yeah.
you're like, oh wait, I saw that person on TV.
Oh,
And
that
you're
person plays for that.
Now they're on my team. So it's pretty cool that you can just kind of hop into exactly the same game.
Yeah, that is really cool. It's an interesting sort of equalizer.
I think
Yeah.
I tuned into one of your games that you were casting on Twitch, and was Alex playing?
No.
No,
Wait.
but Alex plays.
He
He
plays
does play,
Overwatch,
yeah.
doesn't he?
But I feel like I've seen him playing the game, this Overwatch stuff, and I was like, I didn't even know that you played this game because we
Yeah.
have one.
For a couple days because Jason's casting inspired me.
Ah!
I love it. It's
Thank
so
you,
cool.
Sky God.
If you at home couldn't hear that, Alex said I played for a couple days because Jason's casting inspired me.
And
Yeah,
he looks
I was
really
just-
good.
Yeah, I was like, Alex, you're freaking good at this.
He
God
was
damn.
farming.
But that's a question that I was going to ask you guys was, is there any games that you started playing because you either watched streamers that you follow or a team that you follow or a tournament that you weren't aware of the game and then it got you to play it?
For me, for League, because a lot of my coworkers in jobs previous, when I got out of college, they all started playing League, but I didn't play League. I knew about it, I just didn't. But then,
That's League of Legends.
yeah,
right?
League of Legends. Sorry, they say just League. To
I-
shorten
I get it.
I'll say League of Legends.
I'm just saying for the layman.
Yeah. So and then they started playing it, and then during that time, the season was playing there's different league for League of Legends. There's different leagues. There's European. There's North America, Korea. I think Wild Card, Vietnam. There's different leagues for different regions, and we were doing a kind of betting, oh, I want this team to win, and you get lunch or you pay for dinner.
Oh, wild.
So then I'm like, okay, I'll pay attention to that, and then start watching, and I'm like, I should probably play this because I played Dota 2, which is kind of similar in a way. It is a MOBA or a multi-online battle arena type situation, but it's a different type of it.
Oh.
So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go into it, and I tried it, and I got addicted, and I've been playing it since.
Oh.
So
You're
yeah,
Still playing it.
yeah, I'm still playing, yeah, and that was and that game's been going for quite a while.
Yeah.
So
That'll be 10 years.
over 10 years, because it's season 11 now, so it's
Yeah.
probably 11 years.
Holy crap.
And yeah,
How do you balance, I guess, for Jason, if you're casting and then you want to play games, but you're making that, a side hustle and maybe we're turning it into a job that is, something that, you could partner with us here and we can do more of this, leaning into e-casting. How do you make time for all of those elements in your life when gaming is seen as a hobby for most people?
yeah. How do you prevent burnout?
For me, casting is just such a completely. It feels very different. It's way better, honestly. Watching people play games against each other is like, this is fun. Playing games is like, I hate you.
I
hate my team. Everyone is bad, but me.
You get tilted.
Oh man.
So wait, did you play Overwatch? Because you mostly do casting over Overwatch, right?
Yeah.
And did you play it before you started casting?
Yeah, we started playing because a couple of my co-caster and our production person both played. So I got the game to join them. We started playing on PlayStation. I have this habit of anything I'd like, I turn it into a job. So I was like, this is a cool game. We should start a league. So then we started a league.
Oh, did you compete?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I started a long form tournament, and then we were like, oh, we should stream the games. We don't have casters though, so we would just kind of come in and do some pretty whatever casting on PlayStation. And slowly it was like we should just do more casting. So it's how I ended up in the music industry as well. It was like, I'm kind of shitty at guitar, but I'm good at putting shows on. I think I'm gonna do that.
Did you learn more about the game when you started casting? Or did you have favorite characters that you only played, and then you realized you need to learn more about every character, so that when you're doing like commentary about it, you know everything that's happening?
The role that I play as a tank is because my aim is terrible, but also because in esports I would be like turned into glue. Like at mid 30s, if you're like 24, people are like, dusty.
I hate when you're running around in games and people are just like yelling at you and being really mean. Battlefront. And then
that's why you hit the mute button.
Right? But and then they're just so rude. And you know they're 14 and their brains are still developing.
Yeah. And they're just farming your team.
Yeah.
Like there's a bunch of 9-year-olds just shitting on everybody.
Yeah, right? And I want to be so mad at them, but I don't have the skills to make them feel bad in the game. And I don't have the mean streak to make them feel bad in real life. So
you gotta get them in real life.
I can't though. I'm like, they're gonna learn. They're probably really lonely. Like this is the outlet they have. I don't know. It's.
That's fair.
It's a huge problem in gaming.
Yeah, it is toxicity. Yeah, it's like pretty, it's a big problem, and all the online games have it, and a lot of companies are trying to fix it, but there's little. It's like an ongoing circle. It always happens. Like you always have like a really good game, like great teammates, and then the next game or a game after, you're like, man, my teammate is really like mean or racist and not playing well. You know, it's like stuff like that. But you just can't. Like
there's a big difference between you're not very good at the game and you're a racist. Like I feel like there's two very different worlds.
I mean, you can get like chat banned or something, but like a lot of people they're just chat banned for like an hour or a day or like a day, then they're just going back to normal.
Do you guys ever watch Mythic Quest?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, but they have an episode about having a problem with Nazis in their game and wanting to ban Nazis, but then realizing, well, maybe we should start worrying about banning all the other a-holes in the game. And then they're like, well, what do we consider that? And they spend a whole episode trying to figure that out, and then they get to the end and be like, we should just ban Nazis.
Yeah. That's a quote. We need to write that. Someone write that down. They're like, there's a big difference between being bad at a game and being a racist.
But
there is.
People who will scream at you
Yeah.
for being bad at the game and racists, that Venn diagram is a circle.
Probably.
If someone starts flaming, you're like, it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. They're gonna come up with something. Oh, there it is.
Slurs are
I
coming.
somehow
who's
like
tagged-
almost always tell that I'm a woman as well, you know, and you're just like, I mean, maybe by the name I choose or whatever. It happens to me mostly because I play World of Warcraft, So for some reason, I don't know, Matt always plays female characters, and so the two of us will be in a space together, and he'll have a lady character, and I'll have a lady character, and someone will run over to just me and be an obnoxious a-hole. And he's like, how did they know? It's amazing.
Oh, that's weird.
My tag is from a song name from like the early 2000s, and it's Ageless Beauty. So in like Halo 3, it was like always pink armor, and either I get flamed or I get random friend requests from people I don't want to be friends with.
You get a lot of faps?
Oh, geez.
Nice.
So what kind of reception have you had to all of the casting stuff that you've been doing?
So far, it's been really good. It's been a lot of fun. I think watching your game from another perspective, and I think with a little bit more amplified and paying attention to different parts, because part of casting is telling the whole story and establishing those storylines and those narratives and things like that. So you might have one very good player on your team that everyone talks about, but when we're casting a game, we make sure we focus on everyone individually at some points. So the reception's been really, really good. Casting is something that, for some reason, is not really, it's not a super popular thing. Most tournaments that I've spoken to have 4 casters, tops, and like 6 games a week. And those casters are usually, they're like drummers. They're like in 10 bands. And everyone has to like share time.
They're goalies, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
How do you, because like, I think, I was gonna say, like, most of I think this stuff we're talking about is competitive cooperative gaming, because there's something about a team, right?
The team is the coolest part for me.
And I think what attracts people to cooperative gaming? This idea of that social element. It makes the competitive nature more fun. Because I think watching someone play Mass Effect or something would be interesting, but also it doesn't have the same energy, right?
Well, typically, sorry, I was going to say this earlier, and then I completely forgot what I was going to say. But you were talking about like the variety of what people stream, and I find the biggest difference there is that you connect to the streamer. So it's like when you're watching solo play, it's because you want to watch the person. You want to see their reactions, you want to interact with them in their chat, and that kind of a thing, more so than you want to just watch the gameplay. Unless you're watching someone who's like an elite level.
Yeah, it's like really good,
gamer.
just grinding through or doing a speed run,
Who?
Doing a speed run.
Oh, doing a speed run, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically what you said. It's basically like you're connecting with the streamer, it's like their personality, like and their commentary on the game, or like their comedy of the game, I think that's why a lot of people will tune into like the single player Twitch streamers. For me, like to tune into like esports or whatever, it's to learn more about the game. It's like I didn't know I could do that build. I didn't know you could play that way. That's why I watch.
Picking up moves.
Yeah, no,
studying.
right? Yeah, totally
absolutely.
moves. Yeah.
Do you follow the players or like a specific team? Or
I follow the team. I follow like different teams, mostly from Europe because it's better than North America. Sorry.
Oh.
For League, yeah.
Yeah, for League, yeah. But for like Europe, I follow Fnatic, like I said, and I follow G2 Esports. They're both like French and Swedish organizations.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, for North America, I do tune in the games and I do watch them, but like I don't specifically follow the team like a team.
Okay.
I do just watch the games, kind of like tuning into like a hockey or like a basketball game. Like, oh, these two teams are playing.
When you equate it to a sports game like hockey or basketball, do you? I think that's one of the interesting differences with gaming is that if you're watching something like a tournament, then if you do follow the team, you can watch their feeds and you can hear their chat. Versus if you want more of a like I'm watching a hockey game from home. When you're watching a hockey game, you don't hear the players, you hear the commentators.
Yeah.
And you can have either experience when it comes to gaming, which is really interesting.
It depends on the game. It depends on the game. Some games they don't do like just a team view to prevent like the other team from learning like strategies.
Oh,
or whatever.
okay.
But there are like certain games that do have something called like pro view.
Like when we play Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
We don't want to tune into your stream and see where you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stream sniping. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do, some games they do have like pro views, like, oh, watch this player for this game, like doing his thing, and it shows his like chat, his commentary, and like it depends though. But that's on like a delay. I think it's like a couple minute delay, so it prevents the other team from
Two minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so competitive. It's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, like the team, like.
Well, I mean, when there's
esports
$25
now-
million on the line, yeah.
Well, esports now has grown like super big. Like each team now has like a sports psychologist. They have a personal trainer. They have nutritionists, a team house, like a lot of teams are like that now. Like the team that I was talking about, that won Vancouver, OG, he's running his team from Spain. Like he bought like a gamer house in Spain, and he has his entire team there.
God damn.
Yeah, and like most teams for League, they're based in LA, and in Europe they're based mostly in Cologne.
Yeah, it's
okay.
a lot of Germany.
Like in Germany. Yeah. Now with COVID, it's kind of hard now, but yeah.
I find that funny because I would have think that it's like esports would be the one sort of thing that COVID would have the least effect on.
The thing is, though, it's
a lot of it's land, though.
Yeah, because a lot of esports, they also make a lot of money from the big final games, the big semi-final games at like Los Angeles and Staples Center in Rogers Arena in Vancouver.
I guess that's
they
true,
do make money from there, and a lot of people want to see it live in person, right?
And your sponsors.
Yeah, and sponsors too. Yeah, because a lot of these tournaments are sponsored. Like the League of Legends North American, they're sponsored by Budweiser, for example.
My God.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so like.
It's pretty it's become extremely legitimate. Like
Yeah.
Overwatch League is like Coke.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense because the gaming industry has now annually generates more revenue than every other entertainment industry combined, which
And
is
we're
a stat I
seeing-
looked up and went,
We're seeing more of an overlap with sports. So
Yes.
esports until the last couple of years has been very organization based, where it was like, oh, I follow Cloud9, I follow Fnatic, I follow 100 Thieves or whatever.
Yeah.
More recently, we're seeing, especially Blizzard and Activision, try and push to more of a city model. So the cities will have teams.
Oh.
Kind of looking to recreate the more traditional sports. Where
That's
so like
kinda cool.
Vancouver has an Overwatch League team, and it's owned by the Aquilinis.
Yeah.
What?
So by the Canucks. Yeah.
So like so they have the same Canucks colors.
Yeah.
And
that's
it's
crazy.
Yeah, they're called the Vancouver Titans.
yeah. So a lot of it, and Comcast has was it Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Bell owns the Toronto team. So it's being
Whoa.
picked up by like major corporations, and they're starting to really get behind it.
Yeah, a lot of owners now or companies, like, they invest in a lot of teams, like in every esports now, not just Overwatch, but like in in
Valorant.
in Valorant, in League of Legends, there's a team that's owned by the Golden State Warriors. They're called the Golden Guardians.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sports teams, and a lot of professional athletes are buying into a lot of esports. We're seeing so much more blending. Like the New York Overwatch League team threw out the first pitch at a Yankees game.
Yeah.
Like there's so much overlap because like it is very
It's so
especially
beautiful. It's like all the
Yeah.
nerds and jocks are come together.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Are they though?
And like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna live in that happy space.
I mean,
Just don't read Twitch chat.
I mean, like, what was it? Ninja played with Drake in like Fortnite,
Yeah.
So,
Huh.
so that's like one example of that. It's gaming
I
is
hate
kind of going
so
to
many words
mainstream.
in that sentence.
I know, right? I don't like Fortnite or Ninja too much either, but like it's just one example.
So many words in that sentence.
We actually did see esports try and bridge the gap. Like Valorant moved their tournament to Reykjavik, so that they could be on European servers.
Oh.
Overwatch brought all the North American teams to Hawaii, and then had all like the Chinese and Korean teams stay like in their home countries. But then they all moved the North American teams to Hawaii so that they would have shorter latency. Because the big reason that people play in person is because you're playing on like a little bubble server where there's no latency or lag
Yeah,
at
that
all.
makes sense.
So it's if I'm playing with someone in in London, I'm looking at like 150 millisecond latency.
Yeah.
Which, when the game is that fast, or like a CS:GO or a Valorant, 150 milliseconds, that's the whole difference between
A hit or a miss.
Yeah, it's a hit or a miss. So we're seeing Overwatch League brought in minimum latency. So if there's like a team playing from Europe and they're at like an 80 milliseconds, they've now set it up so you can take the other team and be like, you're also at 80 milliseconds.
Oh, just leveling the playing field.
Yeah, level.
So
makes
that you're
sense.
not
You all have
like,
the equal
what's up,
handicap
team
then."
from Paris? We're gonna play on this LA server. Also, the other team is in LA. So,
like,
we've seen esports
cricket
adapt
refs.
quite a bit.
I have a question about casting because I think it's so fascinating. But I'm curious about the prep you do, and also just in general needing to be really snappy at improv. And do you do extra training, and what kind of things that you do? Because coming up with those like zingers in the moment that are so good at the end of the video, like the bunnies one, and you're like, they're not bunnies, they're killer rabbits, but like those little moments that make that so memorable for an audience member. And what is that process like for you?
So prior to each match, we contact team captains or managers or whatever. We get a list of all of their players, all their pronouns. We generally default to they, them, but we get pronouns anyway. It's very easy to use the pronoun of the character they're playing, which can suck. So we just try to suck less. So we get pronouns, tags, the characters they play most, and then any like weird notes. So then we prep all that, and then I have it in front of me the whole time we're casting. I have a list of every ability in the game that's like taped in front of, behind my camera. Because every once in a while, I'd be like, I'd never play this character. I don't know what any of their abilities are.
There's so many abilities.
Have you done any casting over games that you're unfamiliar with?
I've done a little bit of Valorant, and if you don't know like the abilities, it's really tough. And I've seen casters who don't know the game, and it's an absolute dumpster fire.
I want Jason to cast a bunch of us playing Deep Rock, and like, you're just getting into the game. I think it would be really funny if you're like, and this person does. I don't even know what that is. Great. It's
That's
working
a grappling
good.
hook or something.
I don't
There's a
think there's
robot
enough
following
that
them.
happens, like enough of a variety of things that happen to make it a
You
good
don't have to just make it up. It'd be so funny.
Yeah, you'll
I
be
guess
rock
that's fair.
solid.
Lol.
Randy!
So, yeah, we do a lot of prep for that, and then for tournaments, any of those like zingers is like we chat about it. They're like, okay, this is the team name. As soon as we get the list of players, it's like, okay, so here's the joke for this, here's the joke for this. We've actually, because of Alex noticed that my co-caster Newbeat used a Shakespeare quote, and Alex was like, that is the best. So we've worked a Shakespeare quote into most games now.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
So I have a list of like gaming Shakespeare quotes. And then we try and have these, and I usually sit down and come up with stupid, clever one-liners.
Nice.
It's funny because it's the kind of thing that I feel like makes sense to land with a gaming audience that probably wouldn't land with like a football audience.
But you know what? I have seen some of the best hockey and football casters, and they say stuff, like, oh my god. Especially old hockey casters, they'll always have some clever thing to say, and I feel like it definitely is bigger in gaming.
Yeah.
I think it takes itself a little bit less seriously.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah. That's really cool. I'm so curious about how you have to balance, so it sounds like it's a lot of prep, but then it is improv on the fly because you don't know how any match is going to turn out and what everyone's going to do, right?
And sometimes captains just don't get back to us.
Oh, yep.
And then we're like, all right. And
Oh, I had another question I wanted to ask you. Sorry, I forgot about it. Have you ever done commentary, like casting, over something else that doesn't call for it, or that isn't traditionally something that has commentary over?
I have not. We've talked about Among Us.
Oh.
which would be a lot of fun, I think.
Oh, we could set that up.
Have like everyone screen share in, and then have the caster know who the imposter is, and then like establish their narratives, and you can like watch the imposter get closer and closer to people.
That is so good.
I think that would translate really well.
Yeah.
Because then you could like, if they're following
dang.
one person and kind of sitting in it, they could be like, oh, they're just they're marinating this guy, making it look like they're doing attacks. That's definitely going to be their first target. Like all that. Yeah. Huh.
You can build if you can build the storylines and like build the things to look out for. Any of those games are a lot of fun.
That would be really tricky for the voting scenarios because I mean it's basically lying the game in between the tasks.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
it's
so
just
bad at it.
it just encourages.
It's
no, you
stressing
are
you.
not. You're pretty good. You've got some tells, but I'm not going to tell you what they are.
Everyone has a tell. Everyone has a tell.
murder.
I only
The murder
just
is the
recently
tell.
learned, like I was today years old, when I learned that the tasks are up in the corner.
Yes.
And so an imposter doesn't need to fake just like, oh, I think there was that one task somewhere.
Yeah.
But they're up in the corner.
Do they give you a list of fake tasks?
Yeah.
Yeah, they give fake tests.
Well, they give you there's when you look at the map, there's spots to go for fake tasks, but they're actually displayed during the whole game in the top left of the screen.
Yep.
Like these things need to happen.
That's why Randy's always calling people on it, and I didn't know. And I was just like, wow, he's
know that
really
one?
good at this.
Why is
I know,
Randy so
2 years old.
Yeah, I was like,
You
yeah,
are
you're doing the
pretending
trash.
to do
You're
this
doing the trash
thing.
shoot.
That's not a task. Why are you pretending to do that? So we have reached the end of our time. I know it goes very, very fast.
It does go fast. Thanks for having us on.
Oh, thanks for being here. And I look forward to watching more casting and being
Playing more
shot
games?
a whole lot more by Randy.
Yeah.
Although now October for Back for Blood.
Yeah.
Man, I read that as July, and now it's October, and I'm even more sad.
Back for October.
But no. See? You gotta work on it. You gotta work on it. Marshall would never have made that, but
That's true. That's true.
What would Marshall do?
sorry?
What would Marshall do? It's
Yep,
the new
WWMD.
Yeah, that should be your motto. Or just would Marshall make this joke?
What would Marshall pun? Yeah.
What would Marshall do? What would the Marshal do?
He's the Marshall in Pun World.
Maybe you could be the deputy.
Hey, that's what I said.
So, this was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having
Thank you guys for being here. Make sure to tune in on Twitch next Tuesday for our conclusion to our Star Wars One Shot or Not. So we're going to see part 2 of that and
shot first?
wrap that guy up. And then we will see you back here next week for more Filthy Talk, episode 44. Woo! Until then, stay filthy.